Hello, everybody. Sorry, my recorder, I'm still getting used to it. Um, Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm your instructor rather, for Geographic Information Systems Science and Technology for Fall 2018. And this is my 5 things you need to know in order to be successful in the class. There we go. So, what to expect. I'll just introduce myself a little bit and then go over the 5 things you need to know, and hopefully that will get you started on the right foot to get going in the class. So, about me, I have some of my information online as well, but again, my name is Sarah. This is my 4th semester teaching with CWC. I've taught online and in person, all GIS classes. Um, I actually taught in Lander, at the Lander Center, summer of 2017, and I lived at the Sinks uh, Canyon Center for the summer, so I have a little bit of insight into what the school's like and where you guys are at. So um, I'm really happy to be back teaching again, and I look forward to sort of keeping my Wyoming contacts going. Um, and also, let's see, I'm actually based in Long Beach, California, so while you guys are descending into winter, I will be descending into my California winter of 60-degree weather, which would be amazing because it's already so hot here. I'm ready for it to be here. I have a PhD in geography I got from King's College in London in 2012. Um, and in my PhD, I actually focused on post conflict urban reconstruction, and I did a bit of GIS while doing the PhD. Post PhD, I've actually just picked it up a lot more and trying to kind of, skill build and figure out a career trajectory, and this is one of the things I'm doing with it. Um, in the daytime, I actually work as a GIS field technician. I collect data for a public utilities company. Um, Specifically, I work on electric utilities. So I have a lot of experience with being out in the field and working out in the weather and collecting GIS data and working on a computer. So that's where I'm coming from. And if you ever have any questions about me and my experiences, please let me know. I've done a lot of different things. This is just my current hat is teaching and doing GIS, but I've done many other things. So on to the rest of the class. The first thing I want to review, of course, is to point you towards, as I should as an instructor, that you should please review the course outline, the summary, and the syllabus. You should look at the syllabus, but it essentially has the same information that's in the outline and the summary, and the lab guidelines, which are also linked to on the course page on Canvas. And I just wanted to say a few things about Canvas. As you guys may know, this is brand new to CWC this semester. Um, so we were using a former technology last semester. The last 3 semesters I've been doing it. So my experience with Canvas is limited. I've used it as a student actually, just once. Um, so as we're going through it, if I make mistakes, if I miss something, if I have the wrong settings posted and you can't see something, please let me know. I'm totally expecting to make mistakes, so I appreciate any kind of uh, heads up you can give me. And on that note, you know, if you're totally new to Canvas as well, I've been doing a big crash course in it the last couple of weeks as I've prepared for this class. There's a lot of good resources on the website for it. So if you have questions about how to navigate, they've got a good search function. Um, just go through and check it out that way. So number one of the 5 things you need to know for GIST Fall 2018. Number one, absolutely, absolutely commit to consistently checking in on the class and develop a routine. This is an online class primarily. It's done as a hybrid class, and yes, you will be doing things with Jackie Clamshire, maybe a couple other instructors in person throughout the semester, but the content is delivered primarily online. And I know from my own personal experience and also from teaching online courses, it's easy for online classes to sort of fall to the wayside, especially if you're taking a full load, if you're working full time, if you're balancing family responsibilities. Um, I get it, I've been there. But if you can actually just calendar one time each week, check on the website, check your school email, see what's happening, it'll be a lot more, I think, filled in on the gaps of what's going on. Because I do actually post everything. You're going to have work to do every single week. So it's not like you're going to have an opportunity to necessarily fall behind. But again, it's easy for it to fall to the wayside. So my suggestion is you commit to consistently checking in on the class and developing a routine about it. Second, assignment due dates. So like I said, there's going to be work every single week. I promise it's not all awful, horrible work. I think a lot of it, for the most part, is really relatively easy / challenging / fun. But I have noticed that it is sometimes difficult for students to balance the requirements of kind of a regular turning in routine with this class with their other responsibilities. As such, I'm trying a new system this semester, and as I'm piloting it, I want to get your feedback and I'll see how you guys are doing. But I'm going to have two kinds of deadlines. So we're going to have weekly deadlines. So every assignment that's assigned for that weekly module, if you turn it in by Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. of the week that's completing, you'll get 2 points of extra credit for that week. Otherwise, you can turn in all of the work for a section, and there are 5 sections throughout the semester, by the end of the section. So for instance, this first section that we're in is 3 weeks long, including this week, the next week, and then the third week, of course. You can choose to turn in your work at the end of each week, in which case you get 2 points of extra credit each week, so that's 6 points. Or you can turn all 3 weeks worth of work in on Sunday, September 16th, which is the end of this section. If you do that, nothing will be counted as late, and it'll give you an opportunity to balance out when you feel like you can do the work. The main reason I'm doing this is because I know from my own personal experience, especially when it even comes to just grading your work, it's easier for me to sit down every couple weeks, 3 weeks, to grade for 4, 5, 6 hours rather than do it every single week. It just works out better for me to schedule it that way. So I wanted to try it with you guys. So I'm curious to see what you guys think and how it goes. So let's power through that one. And on that note about late work, if you don't get your work in by the end of the section, I do allow late work, but you're going to get a 50% reduction in points, and you don't have to turn it until the end of the semester. One thing I don't want to do is catch up with people's late work after the fact. I'd rather just save it all to the end, and then you're going to get your grade at the end. If you're starting to fall behind, if things are becoming problematic, of course, let me know. I'll also be monitoring your turn-ins and to make sure that you're sort of falling in line with stuff, and I'll get in touch with you if I think there's any issues. Your assignment types, you'll have 4 different kinds of assignments that are worth points. You'll have activities and reading questions, labs. The activities and reading questions you'll basically have every single week. You will have labs, just not every week though. Every section you will have a discussion that you have to contribute to, and I'll go into that a little bit more on the actual Canvas page. And then at the end of every section is an application and analysis section where you'll just go into a little more detail on the subject in general that we've covered. So it's sort of like a mini exam project, but not really, because it's not like you have to study for it. You just have to put a little extra creative thought into what we've done. And also because just from my own personal, I guess, sense of how this all should work, because all of your work is turned in online, you fill it out on the Canvas page and you open up the questions and you fill them in. My own experience with Canvas has been that you can't save your questions, so you can't start an assignment, save it, and then come back to it. At least that's been my experience. So what I've done is included a link to a Google Doc that has all the questions that you're going to be answering written out. So you can actually open that page and have that open to the side and fill it out on your own. And then when you're ready to submit your answers, you can just go into the Canvas page and kind of copy and paste your answers into there. Hopefully that's helpful and that helps you out a little bit. I just think it's easier to not necessarily be working inside the Canvas page, exclusively answering the questions. Let's see, number 4 for grading. So all of these activities, reading questions, labs, and the discussions are all worth 20% each of your grade. And then the application and analyses are worth 40% of your grade. So clearly I'm doing weighted grading. It's a pretty simple system. It looks like on Canvas that it's going to be easy to actually see what your cumulative grade is. Again, the grading system, not the system I'm using, but the way it's put into Canvas, I still don't have much experience with, so we might have to tweak things along the way. But again, just keep in touch with me if you have any questions or concerns. I'll definitely be monitoring how your grading looks, so we're all happy with how things are going. And on the note of grading, this is just a little pet peeve of mine. Unless I say otherwise, or the question only requires a simple answer, such as a list or just needs a numeric value, please use full sentences and clarify your thoughts when answering questions. I find it's just a good practice to communicate fully and effectively, especially in writing. It's really easy to want to truncate what we say and to not fully explain our thoughts, especially in an era of text messaging and emailing. I mean, we all do it. So I want to try and make sure that you guys are explaining what it is you mean. When it comes to GIS, and when it comes to a lot of stuff that has a lot of routine detail, people lose details when they explain it to other people. A lot of stuff gets left out. Just so as an instructor, and as my hope for you as a student, as you learn in general, is just to be clear about your thoughts. And I think making complete sentences is a good place to start. And I will use that and take that on board as I do some of your grading. Last, technology and data. So obviously this is an online class. You have to be somewhat familiar and comfortable with computers and the internet to be able to do this. I won't assume all of you are, because there are people who aren't, who are new to the system. So if you are new to it, or if you have any questions, please let me know. If you need assistance, there's a tutor who will be able to help you out. There's also, I know, just IT help who can also assist you. There's lots of resources at CWC for you if you have questions about anything. Otherwise, you can obviously do this class from your own personal computer, or you can use computers at a CWC computer lab. Either way, you will be using different kinds of software and programs throughout the semester. So if you're using a personal computer, you may actually have to download a few things here and there. For instance, this week you're going to have to work on Google Earth. So if you're using your home computer, you will need to download Google Earth, which is easy and free, but again, just know that that's coming up. But if you're working on the school computers, one of the advantages is that pretty much everything we're doing is already on there. So you don't have to worry about accessing the technology or getting license keys or anything like that. But just remember, if you are using school computers, that you should use a thumb drive and store all your information on it. You probably already are, but just a good reminder. And as far as the data that we use in this class goes, I usually have something to say about data, because when we're doing actual GIS coursework, you start downloading and using large amounts of data. This class not so much, since it's more generic in nature, but we do actually do some GIS later in the semester, so just be aware that you might want to have, again, that external hard drive of some kind, or at least enough memory on your computer to store it all. So questions, problems, anything at all. You want to know how to bake a perfect banana bread? Actually, I don't know how to bake a perfect banana bread, but anything else, please email me. I'm happy to answer questions. I can usually get back to you within the day. If it's the working day, like if it's during working hours, I might not be able to get back to you until the evening. Weekend, I might be doing weekend things. I might not be able to get back to you right away, but I do find it's, within a few hours that I can respond. But if your question is something that you think might benefit the class, you can always post it to the announcement section on the course page. And I can also answer it there, and the other students can see what is going on. And also, again, there will be a GIS tutor whose hours I think are going to be kind of made public very soon. And he will be there to assist you with anything. So other than that, remember, this is actually a pretty fun class. I think it's challenging, easy but challenging at the same time, right? I think you're going to see a lot of cool new information, a new way of seeing the world. Again, if you're new to geography, if you're new to geospatial data, um, I think it's a fantastic way to reconceive of all kinds of different disciplines and subjects. And I really enjoy trying to figure out how to make GIS and GIST work in almost any sector and industry. So please ask me questions and enjoy the work. This is cutting edge, really, it's dealing with cutting edge technology, is what we're looking at, because GIS technology, as you'll sort of learn through this semester, is at the core of everything we sort of use on a daily basis. So go ahead and get started with week 1. You can work all the way through to week 3 if you really want to. All the information is already up and posted for as far as like prepping for the class and as like getting the assignment started. So check your website on a regular basis, and I look forward to hearing more of what you guys have to say and what you're up to. So thanks very much, and have a great day.